What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. And this is where we at now. So you clearly see the title of the broadcast. So apparently this young lady was at a gas station somewhere, ain't no telling. Tire goes flat. There's other men around and things like that. And she feels like that these strangers is obligated to help her. Now, in the 21st century, that kind of situation has escaped the process of the way we used to live in life when we had, good communities and stuff like that. Other men would be willing to help women outside of their family and stuff like that at one point in time. But due to a lot of things that have went on recently here, definitely in the past, since the turn of the 21st century, Me Too's, a lot of stuff, men have kind of, staved off from helping, women that are not technically in the immediate family. But for some reason, women are not understanding that. They seem to have forgotten what has been going on to get up to this point to where men in public settings that you don't really know don't want to help you with things. So we're going to dive off into this and we're going to see what's going on. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
We are fucked. We are fucked as a generation of women.
We are fucked as a generation of women. Let me tell you what. Oh my God. So I am on the freeway, right? My freaking tire, my tire light comes on. I pull over at the gas station. My tire wall is busted out, right? I'm at a gas station. There's multiple men in work trucks. And I literally was like, can someone please help me change my tire? Like, I will pay you. All of them said no.
Right.
All of them said no.
That's okay.
This one man was like, do you need to jump off? I can do that. But you can't change a tire? I'm the most independent person, and this is probably the one thing that I've never had to do.
You're independent
because I grew up in a family of men. Of men. So, here's my life right now. I'm stressed. My boyfriend's on his way, but I was trying to get somebody who could do it quick because we live in LA and traffic is a fucking bitch.
So your boyfriend's on the way. Well, how about you just deal with that? Obviously, your boyfriend, technically he's not obligated because he's not your husband, but at the same time though too, if that's your boyfriend or your man, however you want to put things, because I know things are different nowadays and we live in a different type of society here where things like this can go on. But all I'm saying is though, if your boyfriend was on the way and you're trying to get things done quick, why would you try to recruit other men to do the thing that your boyfriend was on the way to do? And see, this is the impatience that we're talking about here with some of these women and things like that. When they do have men that are subject to their life and they're subject to that man's life, and they could, obviously she called him first, obviously. But at the same time, though, too, she I'm just assuming she called him first. But the thing of this is that obviously at some point she did call him. He said he was on the way, and obviously he could do what she needed done to make sure she get back on the road safely, things like that. But it's the entitlement that she would have the audacity to think that, she could, if her tire was on flat, she was at this gas station, whatever, is other men around. She said basically, well, I guess construction works or something like that. It's the entitlement that she thinks that these men are obligated to help her when clearly she has a whole dude that, he needs to be on his job if he's going to be part of her life, and vice versa. She needs to do things for him that is going to help benefit him as well. But the entitlement that you think perfect strangers in the 21st century is supposed to help you is ridiculous. We don't live in that type of world anymore. And, I'm sad to say that it's not like that anymore because, all of humanity, we do need to help each other in times of need, especially if you see somebody need help. I get it, but it's so much craziness and so much misunderstanding that could possibly go down behind shit like this. Till most men are not going to subjugate themselves to it. Definitely, even, she even said she willing to pay somebody to do that. Dudes was still like, nah, I'm not taking that chance of dealing with you at all. So, it just is what it is.
And I was crying. Like, I'm just a girl. What the hell? Literally, and all the men just kind of looked at me. One man was literally, his truck business said mechanic on it. And he was like, no, I can't.
Okay.
What do you mean?
He means he
What do you
can't.
mean?
Y'all act like whatever you want, people have to do it for you. They can't do it, and that's okay. You got a man, he's coming. Wait, why the fuck are you even crying? Like, I wouldn't even go out of my way to go bother some guys who are around. I would have just been like, look, babe, my tire is flat. Whatever is going on with my tire, this is the problem. I need help. That's it. Why are you bothering people? And then have the audacity to cry when they tell you no. They don't have to do anything for you. With how shit is going right now, I wouldn't do it either.
So, basically the young lady here, which is the narrator of the situation, shout out to her. She's speaking logical common sense. Yes, this is the truth here. And ladies need to start understanding the situation that y'all put yourself in out here with the way that y'all been protesting against, men and the rhetoric that goes on online. A lot of certain segment of women talking about they need to delete men. Other segments are talking about they don't need a man. Other segments are also, we need men, stuff like that. So it's confusing out here in the world and things like that for men when we're straightforward individuals as men, and we need logical, tangible situations. All this mystical sitting around talking out the side of your neck, daydreaming, wishing, and stupidness is not going to work for most solid thinking men. Now, I know that there are some men out there that are, in danger mentally like that, and they will subjugate themselves and be crash out. But for the majority of real men, especially though, as she said, these men were construction workers and stuff like that, those are logical thinking men. They had shit to lose, and they weren't finna take the chance on dealing with this young lady or whatever. She also out there crying and shit. Like that's like a huge situation in today's society when it comes dealing with most women. And also, like I said, and you also had got in contact with your boyfriend or whatever, and he said he was on his way. I find that also highly to be disrespectful that you also called your man and he's on the way to come deal with the problem that you're having at hand, and he's problem solving for you, but you're steady yet trying to figure out a way to get other men outside of your what's supposed to be your main man's job to do things for you. I find that highly disrespectful that you don't have the patience and the foresight to really see that, your man is on the way to help you. That's ridiculous within itself. So, in these types of scenarios here where women are highly impatient, because that's what this boils down to. She was highly impatient. She didn't want to wait for a man to really get there. She talking about, well, maybe if I can get them to do it quickly and this and that. So how was that going to work out when he showed up to come deal with your problem and you got some other man, in engaging in the situation when your man clearly told you that he was on the way to handle that? So, it's a whole disrespectful situation, and the impatience of some of these women out here really do put themselves at a disadvantage and things like that. It's definitely, when they're, and men do look at that as disrespect. If I was to be called by my lady and, her tire has blown and she asked me to come, handle the issue, and I'm coming to handle the issue and things like that, and I pull up and all of a sudden she's galvanized some other men or man to deal with this, that would be highly disrespectful. Because you called me, I said I'm on the way, I'm finna handle it, just chill out, be patient. It's already technically handled because I'm on the way to deal with the issue. So some of these ladies need to stop and start understanding the key of having patience and understanding, and stop trying to move so fast, because you're going to end up in nothing but a bad situation because you're trying to negate the fact that, or even maybe she even thought that, her man wasn't adequate. Equipped enough to handle the situation. Maybe that's what she thought. Who knows? But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Man, love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say, and that, my friends, is the bottom line. That, my friends, is the bottom line.